Well, how y'all doing tonight? Tonight's going to be kind of a special night. We're going to celebrate something. Tonight just happens to be my birthday. I don't know if I'll have this menu or this meal posted by the time my birthday's up, but I at least have it posted tomorrow. So anyway, I'm going to cook something that I like to eat. It's a special little meal. Consists of a steak. Let me go ahead and show you my fixings here. Got me a steak, the little porterhouse steak, and a lot of people asked me to say what cuts I was cooking. It's a porterhouse. Difference between this and a T-bone, this one's got more filet on it. So you get kind of a filet and a New York strip together. Also got a couple of Maine lobster tails, and we'll cook them up. Might put one in a potato. I got some jumbo lump blue claw meat, blue claw crab meat. This is some good stuff. We're going to make us a crab meat cream sauce. Also, we're going to stuff some of these baby portobello mushrooms with that blue claw crab meat. Got me a baked potato. It's going to be real good meal tonight. First off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some seasoning on this steak. I use this all-purpose steakhouse seasoning. Well, it's just this local steakhouse. And like I said, all it is salt, black pepper, some garlic powder, and a couple of other little seasonings. It's mainly salt, black pepper. Like I said, with a little garlic powder. That just saves me some time instead of having to grind all the black pepper and my salt and everything else. Go ahead and hit this joker up on both sides like that. And I'm going to let him come down to temperature while we prepare all this other real good stuff. Notice one thing I've done a little bit different this time with the steak. Put on a little cookie cooling rack with a paper towel underneath it. It's going to help it just get real nice and dry so we get a good sear on it. Okay, now we're going to try to prep the stuffing for these mushrooms. Now what I got down here, I've got about a half onion, got an orange bell pepper, and I've got some garlic, some whole garlic. I've got a little trick that I picked up the other day. It's really neat on this garlic. You know that I always kind of cheat on my garlic. I always use that kind that comes in a jar already cut up a lot of times. But this was on Bowhunter 2439's channel. I really hardly believed it until I saw him do it in the video and I tried it myself. But you get you a jar or something like this. This happens to be a little thermal pot. Just anything with a cap on it, kind of long. Put you some cloves of garlic in there, some heads of garlic, and you grab a cap, not an onion, and you put the top on. Get this on here right. Close up the top and just give it a shake. Man, just shake the heck out of it. Alright, now, let's push these aside and we'll see how it did. Like I said, you notice I didn't stop the camera or anything. Look at that. It pretty much separates the garlic from the husk. I don't see how it does it, but it sure did. Those are just straight up peeled pieces of garlic, a little bit of piece of husk just laying on there. But that works awesome, man. That is a really cool trick. I have to give you props on that one. That's really cool. We got this garlic squared away. I'm just going to break down this little bell pepper here. I like to use an orange one just to give it a little bit of color, and it's a little bit sweeter than the green ones. So we'll just cut this up in strips, and like that. We'll come back and we'll just give it a little quick dice on it. That's all we need. Just a little dice on there. Alright, I got the bell pepper, about half up, 3/4 of it diced up. I think that's all I'm going to need. I'm going to do the same, just dice up some of this onion. Go ahead and make some little slices in it. I'm not making a whole, you've seen me make this type of dressing before. I think when I did the stuffed flounder video, a seafood dressing. I don't know if I used crab then, I think I used shrimp in that dressing. But this is pretty much the same base. You can use any kind of seafood you want. Get that out the way. You just need a dice of your onion and bell pepper. You could use celery, you could use the Trinity in this. I really don't want any of that celery taste in here. I just mainly need some onion and some bell pepper for this application. I think this will be just fine. So I got some onion diced up, I got some bell pepper diced up, got my garlic cloves whole for right now. I'm gonna bring this party over to the stove where I got a burner about medium-high heat. Remember this compound butter I made the other night in my steak video? I think it was that cheese-covered steak. Use some of this. Use about a tablespoon of butter. Put in there. Also going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil. A little bit, and that's going to help to prevent that butter from burning so quickly. I'm going to get that melted down, and we'll add these vegetables. Now I've got my onions, my bell pepper in here. I'm going to medium heat, and I'm letting them just saute on down. While they cook, I'm going to mix that garlic up. Okay, while that's simmering, I got me about a half a pack of Ritz crackers. Just going to crumble these up, okay? Okay, now it's been simmering a couple minutes. Starting to see some color turn on those onions and bell pepper, and we'll add the garlic. Just chopped it up rough chop. Oh, it smells good though. I'm going to let this simmer just for a minute. Actually, what I'm going to do too is I'm going to add another about a quarter stick of butter. I want that butter melt in there. The rest of that butter's melted. Go ahead and add these crushed Ritz crackers. Okay, now I'm going to turn my heat off. We'll just stir these in. Just going to soak up that butter. And get mingled in there with the onions and the bell peppers. Like I said, we just turned our heat off now. This probably, actually I said I'll turn off, I'm leaving on low, just for a minute to kind of brown those crackers too. All these Ritz are still pretty much browned. And that's probably about, I guess, 2 cups of mixture there. Keep it stirred around. Alright, looks good to me. Go ahead and transfer this. Transfer this mixture into a bowl to cool. Just get it all in here and let it cool down for a moment. Okay, while that mixture is cooling, let's clean up the washed and dry these mushroom caps. Let's go ahead and let's make a little slit around the bottom. Just kind of clean these guys up. Okay. We don't even have to cut that with a knife. You just take this and kind of give it a little wiggle, a little twist. Wiggle, and just come right out. Okay, so we got it looking like that. Also, I'm getting here with my spoon a little bit. Clean out some of the what I call the whiskers in the mushroom cap, just to make room for that good old stuffing. Okay, you could eat all this in here, it wouldn't hurt you. You're just fine, but I want to make some room for that stuffing. So I went ahead and got this guy cleaned out just like that. I'm going to do the rest of that to the rest of these. Okay, now I got the mushroom caps cleaned up. I need one more ingredient too. I got some extra sharp white Vermont cheddar cheese and some really good stuff. I'm going to put a nice big shred on this. I'm going to get probably, I don't know, maybe a cup or so of it. I got the cheese grated here. Also going to chop up a few chives. Okay. Just mince these up. These will go good in the stuffing as well. Okay, now we're ready to put this together. Let's go ahead and use my little spoon here. Now, I got a slightly chilled bowl with those chives in the bottom. I'm gonna rake in about 4 large tablespoons of this, I'm gonna call it the stuffing mixture with the Ritz crackers and everything. Then I'm gonna put in pinch 2 of this white cheddar cheese. Now you've got to really kind of do this with your hands. Just make sure they're real clean. It's really the only way to get this stuff mixed up properly. And the next ingredient's especially important that you mix it up. Next is going to be some of this beautiful lump crab. Okay, let's just, oh wow, beautiful blue claw meat. Put in a little bit there. Right, about like that. Looks wonderful. And it's going to help it congeal a little bit and cook together. I'll put a little bit, a teaspoon or so of little mayonnaise in there. Also, can't forget a little bit of sloppy mama. Just a little bit. Just to spice it up a bit. I mean, it's barely open. I just sprinkle a little bit right there on that little spot of mayonnaise. So now let's just take this, toss it like this with a hand, and just mix this up. You want to try really not to break that crab meat up. That's the main thing you don't want to do. You just want to get mixed in with this wonderful breading. Okay. Now this is mixed in. We're going to start the stuffing. Hit this with just a tad Creole mustard. It's about like that much. And give it an interesting little taste. I'm going to kick to it. It's got Creole horseradish mustard. So you don't want to stir it up and break that crab meat up too much. Okay, let's get to stuffing. It's beautiful mushroom caps. Put a cap down like that. Let's take a spoon, put some down in there. Just don't pack it in there because it won't cook properly. So I'm gonna barely give it a little pack like that. And make sure some of that nice lump crabs up there. When you want to take, let's see if you zoom in a little bit. Move it back some. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit more of this white cheddar. We'll get right over the top with it. Just a little pinch. That's going to be just gorgeous. That's perfect. Just how you want it to look right there. I'm going to add one more touch. Just for color, I'll sprinkle just a tiny bit of paprika right there on top. We'll do the rest. Tell you what, to me, this is one of the best appetizers ever. And even though down here we don't have this very often, it's just not cost effective. Even down the Mississippi Gulf Coast, crab meat can fetch up to $30 a pound for jumbo lump like I'm using here. So I used half a pound in this little recipe here, and I probably could do one more mushroom, so that would be 6 mushrooms, half a dozen mushrooms. Easily could be an appetizer. Let's say you had a dinner party, you just gave everybody 2 or 1. You have all that for about $20, so that'd be a really great fine dining appetizer. So I'm not going to eat all these tonight. Of course, I'm going to cook them. You can semi-save them. So I just wanted to go ahead and get all these ready beside the crab meat. Don't put them in the fridge till they're ready to cook. Now we're going to tend to the lobster tail that will be cooked on my makeshift steamer. Got a little pot of boiling water here. I'm going to pour some of this Zatarain's down in here. This is just liquid crab boil. Hopefully this will put a little flavor, vapors. Give it to them. Now I've got an old pie pan. I've put some holes in it. I'm going to take the lobster tails, lay them across here flat like that. Okay. Come on now. And I'm gonna take the lid to this pan, put it over here. We're just gonna let them steam for a few minutes in my makeshift little steamer basket steamer. Notice how pretty and bright red my lobster tails are getting. It's really working. I'm only going to let it steam for about 5 minutes because I definitely don't want to overcook them. I'm going to cook them a little bit after this. So my lobster tails have cooked about 5 minutes. Now I've got an ice water bath that I'm going to transfer them into as soon as I get them out of this heat, because I don't want them to cook anymore. As I said, I'm going to saute them here in a little bit using the method. So see how they're nice, red, beautiful looking. I'm going to show them to you if I can get one to hold on this thing. See how that meat's a nice white color? It's not clear or anything. I'll go ahead and transfer this guy over to this ice cold water and take this other one with it. We'll sit in this ice cold water for a minute or two, and this is just going to stop the cooking process, because the last thing you want to do is overcook lobster. They just get tough. Meanwhile, I'm going to let my oven preheat to 375. We're going to get these mushrooms ready for the oven. I've got a cast iron skillet. I've got a little bit of olive oil here. So I'm going to take each mushroom and kind of dab it, the cap, in the olive oil. I probably should have got a bigger container. That way, I'm just going to get some olive oil on the bottom of that mushroom cap. That way it's not going to stick to this pan. That should be nice. Let me get a bigger container. Okay, now it's going to be easier to do. Just blot those mushrooms there in that cap. Mushroom caps there in the olive oil. Just take and kind of spread around with your hands, make sure they get a good little coating on the bottom. I'm going to set them here in this skillet. It's going to also help the mushrooms to brown up nicely. Okay, here we go. Got 5 of them in the pan. Going to put them in the oven for about 20 minutes. Preheat to 375. Okay, now that these lobster tails cooled off, I'm going to go ahead and bust them up a little bit and get this meat out of here. Go ahead and put your knife down there at the end like that. Give it a nice little crack. Alright. We'll just get this meat right out here. Just unzip it. There we go. See how I do that? I don't know if you can see that good or not. Oh well. I'm just taking it right out the tail like a big old crawfish. Okay, we'll have that nice meat right there. Oh yeah. And do the same to the other one. And now we're going to take this beautiful lobster meat. I'm just going to cut it into chunks. Okay, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Let's see here. Alright, taste me some. Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm going to taste that wonderful Cajun seasoning on there. Look, gosh, I don't want to drop none of this. Dog's going to be having this. See these nice big chunks? Take these and pour those in that chill bowl. Take this one, chunk it up. I'm just going to make some gorgeous addition to the plate tonight. Go ahead and take that. I'm going to set that aside. That's good stuff. Get out here, let's work on this dang steak. Wow, this grill is hot. Oh, this steak looks just awesome. Go ahead and lay him down here. I'm going to let it go about 2.5 minutes on that side. That's all I'm going to do. Go ahead and set my stopwatch. Start for about 2.5 minutes, and then we're going to flip him over. Man, that bad boy looks good. It's been about 2.5 minutes. We'll go ahead and give this bad boy a flip. Right by that bone right there. Look at that sear. Look at them sear marks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is perfect. We can go ahead about the same allotted time on this side. Okay, I'm about to pull this bad boy off now. And I think it's really going to be good. Perfect. With a good sear to it. And pull it off. I got my little plate here with some foil on the bottom. And set it right on there. Pull it off. Before I pull it off, you just got to check how perfectly that fat just seared right there. That whole steak just cooked beautifully. Now we're going to check on those mushrooms. See them beauties in there. Oh wow, yeah. That's great. So you can get in there, look at that melted cheese. All that wonderful crab meat. Let them go for a few more minutes. Okay, now we're going to start on that crab meat cream sauce / hollandaise. Got this pan heating up. I'm going to put, let's see, a couple tablespoons of butter in there. Oh man, before I catch it, whisk on fire. Let that go. We'll let that melt, and then I'm going to add some other ingredients. Now that that's really starting to melt, I'm going to add what I think is about 2 tablespoons of that compound butter I made. And that compound butter's got thyme in it, it's got a little bit of rosemary, some really, really good stuff. It also has some sage. Give everything a wonderful, wonderful flavor. Also has a little bit of sloppy mom, so we're gonna melt this down too. Okay, now I've got that wonderful compound butter in there melted with all the herbs. And let that sizzle just for a minute. Now what I'm gonna do is I've got a strainer. I've got this strainer over skillet over here. Go ahead and turn this heat off. I'm going to strain these little pieces of rosemary, thyme, and stuff like that out of this compound butter mixture. Okay. It looks wonderful though. Go ahead and get all that in there, all those pieces and bits. Okay. Now I've got this butter. Without that, I'm going to return that to the skillet out of my saucepan. All we're missing is our little pieces of spices and stuff like that. I'm going to turn it back. A little bit of heat here. Okay, now it's back to temperature. I'm going to add that wonderful lobster meat. Look at that lobster. Just beautiful. Just let it saute for a second in that butter. Also, while it sautés, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chives on it. Just a little bit to get it a little bit of flavor in there. Give it a little bit of color too. So this one, just you can see how it's turning that meat. It's a little bit pink outside. So I'm gonna give it a nice little caramelization almost on the outside. Just gonna simmer this just for a minute. Okay, now that it's cooked, I'm bring this pan back over here, and I'm gonna strain my wonderful lobster meat out. Do this. Oh, you sure don't want to lose that. What I did, I had some of them herbs in there. Dang. Oh, I'll separate that. Alright, got the lobster meat there. Got the butter off that lobster. Sure is wonderful. I'm going to turn that lobster to the bowl just for a minute until I finish the rest of this. Also, I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of butter to that skillet. I'm going to put this hot butter over there in it. We're going to let that melt. That melts in this saucepan. I'm going to add about a cup or 3/4 of a cup of milk, about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Also got some like hollandaise sauce mix. Put that in there. I can get it open. Turn the heat on a little bit. Just whisk that in. Just gonna keep whisking this till it gets mixed in. Now if that's all whisked in, I'm gonna add this melted butter and everything back to it. So whisk that on in. I'm gonna bring this to a light boil. Let's get this plate plated up. Wow. Okay, we've got a beautiful porterhouse steak over here that's been resting. We're going to lay him down. Got these awesome mushrooms. So I get a good way to get them without burning myself. Pieces. Look at those mushrooms. Oh my gosh. My word. This is definitely the best birthday. It's got to be one of the best birthday dinners I've ever had. We've got this porterhouse now. I'm going to take some of this this lobster, okay, put it over here on that fillet. Then get us a little surf and turf type deal going on. Just get some lobster meat all over this. This lobster's been pretty much poached in that butter, compound butter. Got that going on. Then we've got this beautiful crab meat cream sauce, which I'm gonna go ahead and just got some there with the little scooper so you can get plenty of crab meat. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Sprinkle a little bit of that over with the mushrooms. That crab meat cream. That'll be good on them too. Alright. Maybe a little bit of chive there on top. Just for a little bit of color. Alright. Man, that looks excellent. There's not one thing left to do. Let's cut into it and see how it tastes. Alright, find me a knife, fork over here. Guess we're cutting the steak first. Look at that. perfectly cooked steak. Look at all that meat, that lobster. It's hanging off my fork. This wonderful piece of that steak there. Wonderful bite right there. A little surf and turf steak and lobster. Magnificent. I'm on the stuffed mushrooms. Stuffed. I want you to see this side shot. That crab meat, that wonderful stuffing. That's A+ for sure. Thank y'all for watching. First year on the YouTube with the channel. I really appreciate it. Good night, y'all.